Hello everyone, myself Udit Singh Solanki. In this video, I'm going to talk about difference between murder and culpable homicide. Now, move to the next slide. These are the things I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, start with the introduction. The term culpable homicide and murder are the two most confusing terms in IPC. There is a thin line difference between the two terms. Culpable homicide is a genus and murder is a species. The basic difference between these two offenses lies in the gravity with which the offense has been perpetrated. Therefore, in this video, I am going to talk about the clear cut difference between and your. Now talk about what is culpable homicide. The term homicide has been derived from the Latin term homin, means man, and cedo means cut or kill. Thus, homicide means the killing of a human being by another human. Section 299 of the IPC defines culpable homicide as whoever caused death by doing an act with the intention of causing death or with the intention of causing such body injury as is likely to cause death or with the knowledge that he is likely by such act to cause death commits the offense of culpable homicide. Culpable homicide being exercised under the influence of the general exceptions under section 76 to section 3 to section 100 of IPC is lawful homicide. Now move to the next slide. Now we are going to talk about ingredients of culpable homicide. There are 6 ingredients in the culpable homicide. First, causing the death of human being. Second, death must have been caused by such an act. The act must have been done. Fourth, with the intention of causing death. Fifth, with the intention of causing such body injury as is likely to cause death. Sixth, with the knowledge that such an act of the doer is likely to cause the death of injured. Now move to the next slide. Now we are going to talk about murder. Murder means killing a person, just like homicide means. So the murder is homicide, but also homicides are not murder. So clearly homicide is a wider term, even though murder is considered to be more intensive and grievier, and the law punishes the murderer more than one who commits culpable homicide. Now, there are some exceptions in this case. The first exception in this case is culpable homicide is murder if the act by which the death is caused is done with the intention of causing death. Second, if it done with the intention of causing such body injury as offender know it likely to cause the death of the person. Now we are going to talk about murder. Murder means to kill a person just like homicide means. So murder is homicide, but all homicides are not murder. So clearly homicide is a wider term, even though murder is considered to be more intensive and graver, and the law punishes the murder more than one who commit culpable homicide. These terms are interrelated. Now move to the next slide. These are the ingredients of murder. First, the unlawful killing of a person. Second, intention to cause death of or knowledge that act is likely to cause death. Third, an act done with the intention of causing such body injury that act is likely to cause death. Now move to the next slide. Punishment of culpable homicide and murder. In the case of state AP versus R. Punya 1976. Justice Sarkaria J. said that there are three degrees of punishment offered for culpable homicide. The first is the gravest form of punishment for murder under Section 300. Second degree defined under Section 304 Part 1, which is less graver than the least grave punishment, is the third degree punishment, which is in Part 2 of Section 304 of IPC. The punishment is imposed by the court on the basis of whether it is murder or culpable homicide. Now move to the next slide. The most important part of this presentation is differentiating factor, which means the difference between two, murder and culpable homicide. The first thing is intention to cause death, present in murder but not in culpable homicide. Second, knowledge of likelihood of death, present in both murder and culpable homicide, but different intentions. Severity of body injury, murder involve an act likely to cause death, which culpable homicide involve an act likely to cause body injury, likely to cause death. Now move to the next slide. The case law. Ram Kumar versus State of Chhattisgarh. This is the most important case law of murder and culpable homicide. In this case, the defendant was given a punishment under Section 302 for murder by the district court for his offense of his hitting his sister-in-law on her head because he did not want her to marry. The girl directly went to the police station after being hit by the man, but after then she died. The court considered that FIR as her dying declaration and demanding everything she lodged to be true and sentenced the man with Section 302 punishment for murder. But the man then appealed to the High Court, and the High Court observed that the girl could have directly moved to the hospital instead of approaching the police station after being hit. This delay is the reason of her death, and hitting on her head was not certain to cause her death. Hence, the High Court sentenced him under Section 304 of IPC, which was second degree punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Now move to the next slide. Now I'm going to summarize my presentation with this few lines. There is a thin line difference between culpable homicide and murder. But culpable homicide is a gene while the murder is a species. Murder includes culpable homicide, but culpable homicide does not include murder in all cases. To decide whether a particular act falls under the domain of murder or culpable homicide, first of all the act has been ascertained, and then intention and knowledge of a person who accused the death and body injury has been ascertained. If the intention or knowledge is higher, then the case would fall under the murder, or otherwise it fall under the culpable homicide. Thank you so much for watching my video.